Well, hello, everybody. This is Goldfinger for the Goldfinger Minute, and I am going to bring to you my story and about how I lost weight starting about a month ago. And I have to be very careful not to use anybody else's names or to suggest that you do the same as I did. This is strictly what I chose to do on my own. You'll have to go see a doctor or find out your own information. So I am not suggesting you do anything. Here's what I did. I needed to lose weight. I had gained some weight from not swimming over the last 6 months because I don't have a pool here. So I started walking at the mall about 2 months ago with very limited performance results. It was like I could only do about 5,000 steps maybe, and I was only doing it 3 times a week, and obviously blew my 1 meal a day type of thing, and low carb was sometimes. So I had to get serious. And a friend of mine brought it to my attention that these new peptides that they come out with have some great results, or at least promising great results from other YouTubers that have put it on their YouTube channel. Now, a lot of them seem to be weightlifters, and there's a lot of different things you can get in the Philippines that you cannot get in, say, the States or Canada or Europe, but they're not as stringent here. And so I was able to investigate it a little bit myself and was able to get Retatrutide, which is a peptide, as you see in the title. There have been several changes since the first one. I'm just going to call it Ozem, and Ozem had some problems. So basically, the first one is kind of a passe to, and it only had one. It only served one purpose, is to make you disinterested in food. The newest ones have 3. Basically, they affect your mindset of what you're thinking of food, and they affect your metabolism. It slows it down so that you think you're always full. Instead of speeding it up, they actually slow it down, and it thinks you're always full. And it also affects visceral fat, making your body use that before it'll be using, say, carbs or protein. So they say it's best to do resistance exercise or some type of exercise while doing it. However, I don't have any weights, and I'm not weightlifting, and I don't have a gym that I belong to. So I just walked at the mall. So I started again August 2nd of this month. It's actually right now today, August 30th. So it's been almost a month. I'm like 2 or 3 days short of a month. And I walk at the mall here in the Philippines, which gives me flat surface. I'm not sweltering under the heat, and I can walk while it's raining. Okay, so it works for me. And I just do 10 trips or about 10,000 steps. I had already started the month before, so I was already up to 10,000 steps. And I go 4 or 5 times a week and do 10,000 steps. Now, starting next month, I plan on upping it and doing some resistance training, and that would be stretch bands and weights. Maybe even some yoga, a little stretching, because if you lose weight very quickly, and those that have had, they know that you get excess skin, and your body will absorb that excess skin, but it's not as fast as your body will lose weight and create the excess skin. It takes a little longer. So stretching, yoga, weight resistance, stuff like that will help your body absorb that excess skin, so you don't look like you have a bunch of hanging skin, which is not very cool either. Now, I'm going to go over some of the things I did and some of the things that I found. I am going to have to refer to my phone, so you're going to have to bear with me because I am going to have to look some things up as I go to remind me of all the situations. But let me go. So again, I started August 2nd. Now, I was introduced to a peptide called Retatrutide, which you see there at the top. And what they said in most of the videos that I watched, it says start with 1 milligram twice a week. So you'd have 2 milligrams or 2.5 milligrams roughly per week. But my friend who started and turned me on to it said he started off with 2.5 and had no side effects. The biggest problem with whenever you take something, there usually is a side effect. So if you take too much of something right away, you might have a side effect. Okay, so I did not have any side effect myself on Retatrutide, and I started off with 2.5 milligrams. The bottles, which I purchased, and I'll explain how I purchased it from Manila, come in this little. Oh, I gotta go here. Let's see. Oh, I gotta put it on this side. Okay, come on this little package here. I had to black out the name. Sorry, but they come in this little package, and inside this package is a cushioned bottle of the Retatrutide. And the Retatrutide itself is a powder. And what you do is you add special water, which has been filtered and cleaned. So this is the bottle itself. Okay, it's not very big. It comes with a cap that you have to snap off, the top cap, and there's a rubber that you stick a needle into the center of that. Actually, I could show you. I'll snap it off. And there, I snapped it off, and you see that, and you put right in that little tiny section of that circle. You would put the needle and add what they call BAC water. Now, BAC water, which also comes from the same company that I ordered from, also has a top that you snap off. You put a needle in there, 100 milliliter needle, draw out 100 milliliters of the liquid. Okay, and you just use a regular syringe. Sorry, this is backwards. Hopefully you can read this right. And you pull it from the bottle and basically add it to the smaller bottle, 100 milliliters. So you're making 100 milliliter solution in this little bottle. Okay, and then you add it very slowly, because it says that the peptide is cannot be shooken. You can't shake it. You basically just roll it. Okay, you can see the powder in the bottom. You can see it's white, but the bottle is clear. So when you add the liquid, it shows it absorbs that powder, and you just roll it with the, you don't want to do that. You want to just roll it, okay, and absorb it and wait a few minutes for it to absorb, and then you pull out. If you wanted to be on 2.5 milligrams, because each bottle is 5, there's 5 milligrams in this bottle. And if you want to be on 2.5 milligrams, you would draw out 50 milliliters in a new syringe, using a fresh syringe, and you would inject it in your stomach or thighs or arms in the fatty tissue part. Now, later I have some drawings that show you where you would inject it, but just take my word for it. That's where you inject it. Now, you do want to clean the tops with either cotton balls and alcohol, or you can get these little pads. I use these little pads, okay? Alcohol swabs, okay? And you want to clean the top, this top right there, of both the water, the BAC water, and the BAC water is purified at 20 micron, and then also they add a little alcohol to it to keep it from getting any kind of bacterial contamination. And you want to also clean the peptide bottle. So I would do that. I would clean those two, and then clean the syringe, and then I would inject first the 100 milliliters of BAC water into the peptide bottle, and then slowly rotate it to absorb it. And then afterwards, when I go to inject myself, I would take out half or 50 milliliter. Even using the same syringe is fine. You just use I have 100 milliliter syringe, but you just use 50, and inject it in my stomach. Now, the leftover you keep in the refrigerator, okay? If there's any leftover, and I keep the water in the refrigerator too, okay? So that's probably the safest way. And so what I would do is I would inject 50 milliliters I started on a Saturday, August 2nd, and I would inject Saturday, and then I would inject again Wednesday, okay? So I was doing a full 2.5 milligrams of Retatrutide in a week. I did that for the whole month of August, and I walked at the mall, and I lost weight, and I noticed right away my appetite was not what it used to be. My appetite changed quite a bit. So it makes you uninterested in food. Like you don't have cravings. You don't have to have a sweet or a salty or a fatty or anything. Food seems to be not on your mind. And you actually have to think about having to eat because your stomach will be growling, but your mind will say, I'm not hungry. I don't know why it's growling. Okay. And that happened for the first week or two. And then I noticed around the third week of doing it, same thing. Every Saturday and Wednesday, I would take 50 milligrams or 50 milligrams of liquid or 2.5 milligrams of actual Retatrutide in effect. And I noticed that it was not only making me not think of food, it was making me a little forgetful. So side effects for me was I was a little forgetful. I would forget people's names. I would have to write everything down. I also would forget, I have to turn the air on. It's getting warm in here. Excuse me one second while I turn the air on. Okay. And I also forgot to invite people to a party, good friends, my best, to a birthday party for Carolyn. So that was pretty sad. It just, sometimes you forget things, really basic stuff, okay? And you forget what day it is. You forget. Now, maybe part of it is natural old age. I don't know. But I don't have Alzheimer's that I know of. And it kind of made me feel like I'm getting Alzheimer's. So just kind of, that was one side effect. The other side effect I caught when I went on the third week was constipation, a little bit of constipation. I would be honest with you, I would poop for 2 days. So I had to take a laxative, and I bought a laxative at the pharmacy. It's over the counter. You take a little pill at night, you poop in the morning, and so that made me regular. And I only had to do that a couple times. I noticed that because normally I go in the morning when I wake up, and I wasn't, okay, for 2 or 3, I think it was 3 days I did. So, but I didn't feel bad. I just noticed I wasn't going to the bathroom normally. Now, you do want to drink plenty of liquid, and it's always best to have salts or electrolytes, okay, especially if you're exercising. So I have a sugar-free electrolyte I use, which obviously has potassium, salt, and it has other things in it, so magnesium and things like that. Now, that's what I take. Also, I drink a lot of water anyway. I'm not big on sodas, but I will have roughly a can a day or a can every day of sugar-free soda. Not the best thing to do, but that's what I do. And I don't count calories, but I I really cut out all carbs except for one day I had rice. And I had 2 helpings of rice one day, okay? Other than that, I don't have anything sweet, sugared, bread, no pasta, cut out pizza, cut out spaghetti, just no breads whatsoever, nothing with flour, and nothing with sugar. I had noticed in the first week I dropped 4 pounds, and I figured that's water weight, okay? However, by the third week, second week, every week I weighed in, I'd drop another several pounds. So I started off at about 290 pounds, which was 132 kilos. Okay, you could do the math. It's 2.2 pounds to the kilo. So it was 132 kilos. That's approximately 290 pounds. Way too much weight for me. I then noticed it was dropping quite a bit. I just weighed myself today. Today would be the 4th Saturday. And when I weighed myself this morning, I was 124. No, I'm sorry, 123. So I was 123 kilos, which means I lost 20 pounds, okay? So I'm now at 270, okay? Obviously, I need to lose more. I'm still on it. Now, I notice it's not working as well on the 4th week as it was on the 1st. So I'm going to increase my dose a little bit. Probably instead of 2.5, I'll start doubling it, going to 5 milligrams twice a week, okay? Now let's talk about the cost. So the cost is the first place that we found that provided it with just, they do cash on delivery. They would allow up to a 20,000 order for cash on delivery. You didn't have to prepay. Out of Manila, Philippines, was for 4 bottles of 5 milligrams each and 1 bottle of BAC water they charge 12,400 pesos. 12,400 pesos. I'm going to have to do the math for you guys. Sorry. Divided by 57 equals $220 roughly. So it was $220 for the bottle of BAC, which was big enough. The bottle of BAC is enough to do about 6 bottles. It has more than 4 100 milligrams in it, so it's probably enough. It probably has about 600 milligrams, maybe more in it, because there was water left over after today as well, BAC water. But that was 12,400. Then in investigating it further, we found a second place. Now, since then, there are 4 people on it now. Just so that you know, there are 4 people here in the Philippines on it. They want to keep it private as to who they are. If they want to come out, they'll tell you, or they'll come on the channel. But what we did was we found another company that would provide 20 milligram bottles. Instead of 5, it's a single bottle with 20 milligrams of Retatrutide in it. And we got that, and I'm going to show you the opening of it at the end of this speech. And basically they included the syringes, they included the alcohol wipes, they included the BAC water. So it's complete, and instructions. So everything was complete in the package. So my first cost with everything was actually a little over $220, because I had to buy syringes, alcohol pads, like that. But the next company, they provided everything you need for a month's worth of use. Whether they give you 8 patches, and I believe it's 4 needles. But I have extra needles anyway. I'll need more than 4 needles because I'll need 8. Its cost for that, if you bought 3 20 milligram boxes, they're little boxes, and you'll see it in the video, was 5,000 pesos for 20 milligrams of Retatrutide, 4 needles, 8 alcohol pads, and the BAC water. And it has complete instructions and suggestions. So that's quite a big savings, because now I'm able to get 20 milligrams with needles, alcohol pads, and everything else for 5,000 pesos, which is about $90, versus what I was paying, which was about $220. Okay. Just so that you know, one of the people that started it a week ago did some more investigating and found a company in the USA that could provide it for even cheaper than that. They provide 10 bottles of 20 milligrams each, 10. So it's 200 milligrams, okay, of Retatrutide in 10 bottles, 20 milligrams each, for $165 USD and $70 shipping. So if we add up 165 plus 70, that's $235. But then if we divide that by 10, it's only $23 for each 20 milligram bottle. That is a huge savings, and it's very cheap. So we're just going down now from $90 to $23 for the same thing. We've put the order in. I'm not going to give the information in my description, because we want to verify that that's a good product before we say anything as to where that is. But you can investigate it yourself online in YouTube, and there are several people. So the wonderful part about it is I have lost 20 pounds. Actually, today's the 30th of August, and I started on the 1st. So in 29 days, I've lost 20 pounds. That's a lot, okay? That's not water weight anymore. That's weight. I did walk, and I do continue to walk. Next month, I'll be starting to do resistance exercise and increasing the quantity of Retatrutide I take. I'm going to double it for the next month. Some of the guys have already doubled it. I haven't. I've held back, okay? And nobody's really said anything about side effects, except I did hear also someone else was constipated, but I haven't heard anything where they got confused or a loss of memory. I seem to have, but it might just be genuinely, brain fart. I don't know what the hell it is. So, when you're 69, I can't wait till I'm 70. So anyway, so I'm just telling you what I've done and how it's worked for me, and it's incredible. So I need to get down to around 100 kilos, which is 220 pounds. Okay, I'd like to go underneath that, but below that, 200, below 220, and it'd be great if I was 180. But we'll see. They say it takes 6 months to reach your goal weight, depending on how much you have to lose, of course. And they said that the optimum time for losing is when you reach 7.5 milligrams twice a week. Okay, so I'm going to be going to 5 milligrams twice a week. I haven't reached the optimum yet. And they said it typically the most weight lost in the shortest period of time is on your 8th to 12th week, is you actually lose more per day or per week than you do in the first 8 weeks. Okay, so that's it. That's promising too. Again, I've only been on it for 4 weeks, and on 4 weeks in 29 days, I have lost 20 pounds. That's just, it's great. It's just incredible. And then if I could get the price down to $90 a month, that's a big savings because 220 bucks is not cheap. $90 is affordable, and then if we get it down even further than that, from the company in the U.S., if it's the real stuff, and get it down to like $20 a shot, that's incredible. So I'll continue on. Stay tuned for the directions on the package I got from the second company. All the names and everything had to be blocked out. I cannot put any names, and I can't tell you what you should do. Again, this is what I've done. This is what I'm using, and this is what I'm experiencing. So I'm going to put something to release liability in the description. But if you go to the description and if you go to the video and it says more, and you click on the more, and then you'll see a short description, and you can hit it more again, and it'll show you the full description. I can put in there the companies that I've used and how to contact them by email. But I won't put the third company until we verified that you can actually get 10 20 milligram bottles for $165 plus 70 shipping. Now, obviously, if you're in the U.S., you're not going to pay 70 shipping. It's coming out of the U.S., so it's $70 shipping to here. All right. I appreciate it. I can't think of anything else. If you have any questions, just put it in the comments, and I'll be happy to answer. Again, this is my results, my story. That's my CYA, guys. I appreciate y'all. Thank you very much for watching. I hope it's helps somebody along the line. Well, hello there, everybody. We're going to try this again. First time didn't come out so good. We're going to use a stand. This is the new company that I just purchased from. Now, I did have to remove their logo and their name. It is a peptide company in the Philippines. They send out a very beautiful little box. This company was found by a friend of mine, and we ordered 3. If you order 3 20 milligram bottles at a time, they lower the price to down to 5,000 pesos, which is about $90 US. 5,000 pesos per bottle. So I, a friend, and 2 friends bought 3 bottles, and in the package comes everything you need for 1 month's supply, assuming you've been on it for a week already, because they expect you to use 5 milligrams a week. And I don't use 5 milligrams per week on the first month. What I did is, I don't take the box away. I'm going to use it starting next month. So this will be using next month. And here's everything that's in the box. So they give you, I want to make sure you can see this. So they give you 20 milligrams Retatrutide, and they give you the bacteriostatic water that you mix with it. And you're going to take water from here and add it to there, very carefully, slowly, with this syringe that they give you. You're going to add it all at one time, all the water to that bottle. Then they give you 4 injection bottles of 100 milliliters each. And you're going to take that, use the alcohol pad to clean your skin and the needles and the caps of these bottles. And what I do is I take an injection. Starting next month, I'll be taking an injection of 5 milligrams of Retatrutide in the water that's been already dissolved in the BAC water. And I'm doing that once a week. I might increase a little bit anyway, but I just want to try this company. So I only got 1 bottle from them. 1 for me, 1 for 2 friends. So with it, they give you the instructions. They give you the information about GLP-1 uses and how it works. And they also provide information about dosage and where you should be dosing. I'm going to take still photos and scan that and include that after this video so you can read it at your leisure. But in any case, and they also give I don't have it with me, I have it on my phone. They send you a analysis from a lab. So this was 5,000 pesos, or about $90, for a month's supply, 20 milligrams. Now, if you're taking more than 5 milligrams of Retatrutide per week, which my friends are, and I may soon, but if you're taking more than 5 milligrams, this is going to be less than a month's supply, obviously. You'll have to buy 2 packages, and you'll be at, instead of 5,000, you'll be at 10,000 for a month if you double the dosage. So you just have to do the math based on what you decide. I'm not recommending anything. I'm just disclosing what I am using and what I am doing. This company is very good. Now, there is a third company I'm going to look into, which is even cheaper than this company, out of the USA. But I'm going to start place an order with them and make sure that the product is what it is. But they also provide instructions, but they do not include, as my understanding, they do not include alcohol pads or syringes or BAC water. You have to buy that separately. When I find that information out and when I get that package, I'll report that on next month when I do next month's video on the results. And I'm going to go on for the second month. I don't know if it'll be the same or more. I couldn't tell you. But they do say that you get the most results, the best results, when you get between 7.5 to 12 milligrams per week. And also when you're on your about 10th week. All right? Because you have to build up a resistance to any side effects. Anyway, I'll give you more information in the video that I make. Stay tuned.